Great. Thanks very much, Christy, and thanks very much to Resource Rising Stars. So we're going to go through the presentation. Obviously, I'm at the back in the booth there with the chair as well, so please come by and ask questions. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about our really high-grade gold project that we have in Canada and our recent acquisition of our very large copper and gold project in Newfoundland Labrador province as well. And as we go through this presentation, you're going to see a fair bit of Bellevue gold influence and flavour in it. And that's no coincidence, really. The strategy is very, very similar to what we did with Bellevue Gold, as we created over $1.5 billion worth of value, and we took that company from being a 3-cent stock only 4.5 years ago to currently over $1.40. And that value creation was really about drilling holes and creating value with the drill bit and growing that resource to a substantial scale and then fast-tracking into production and cash flow. And you're about to see that in this presentation with exactly the same strategy. The drill rigs have started, the value creation has just started on site. Now this is on the RSX platform, so feel free to have a look and obviously look at the disclaimers in your own time. So we've just bought this amazing new copper project up in Newfoundland Labrador. It's a very large scale resource there already. It's 40 million tonnes, almost 1 million tonnes of contained copper at a pretty good grade of just over 2%, with a gold credit in there of 0.5 gram per tonne gold as well. And you're going to see that grow over the next 6, 12, 18 months. We have one drill rig on site already turning. The second drill rig will be turning underground around Christmas time. The third drill rig will be on site in January. So very quick, rapid, low-cost growth that we'll be having on that copper project. And this is also, and with the acquisition, it came with $250 million worth of infrastructure as well. So we're already set up a little bit like Bellevue Gold in a way, in the fact that we can fast track into production with all that infrastructure sitting there. And I've got a slide on that shortly. Now, we are cashed up. We recently undertook a $50 million capital raise to acquire this project and $24 million in the bank as of today to undertake the next 12 months of exploration. We won't have much time to go into the Pickle Crow project at this stage, but in this presentation, just due to time. But it would be one of the largest undeveloped, highest grade gold projects in Canada that is sitting there ready to go. So some huge value creation can be done on that over the next 12 to 18 months as well. So a quick snapshot of the company here. As I said, we are cashed up with $24 million in cash ready to go. We are strongly institutional. There's about 48% both from North America and from Australia here that recently came on board with that capital raising. That capital raising that we did, board and management and the entire team of Auteco put in $5 million of that placement. So we're all in there at the same level as investors at the ground, from the ground level up. We own a good chunk of the company, so we're in this, and I've just come on board as managing director only 10 days ago. The other important thing to note is that, as you can see, there's a huge amount of shares out there on issue in a way that does make it very difficult for big global institutions to invest in us as a company. And as you'll see in this presentation, we expect this company to grow significantly over the next 12 to 18 months, and we want to be able to have a share structure that will enable big institutions globally to come on board and buy a market in this company. So we're currently doing a share consolidation of 15 to 1 and also a rebranding, as well as this is the start of our copper journey. So metals is very important for us, and we're changing the name to Firefly Metals, which is more in line with what we're about, as opposed to being previously a gold company. So as I said, there's a very strong Bellevue Gold influence and flavour in this. I was the founder of Bellevue Gold and managing director up until only March of this year. I'm still on there as non-exec director, and you can see there we have a whole bunch of people who are currently on the board there at Bellevue Gold and management team. And we also have a Northern Star influence here as well, with Darren Cook, who is our CEO and has been with us for 3 years and grown that Pickle Crow resource, and he's in charge of growing our copper resource as well. We have an amazing team in country as well, ready to go. So a team that are there based up on site and also in Ontario, Newfoundland. The team that have taken projects all the way through from development into production. And as I said, this is a very simple, get it back into production quickly with growth through the drill bit as well. So there's going to be a couple of slides here that will really show why we like this project and why we see this growing. And of course the grade, similar to Bellevue Gold, the grade is of course really important. The grade sets you apart and obviously means that projects can be low cost operations. And so when you look at these drill results here, you can see these are probably some of the highest grade copper results from drilling. And the amazing thing about this is that these are all unmined drill results. These drill results are all directly along strike from the ore body, and these are drill results that we will be targeting and following on. And the other important thing to note is that they were never analysed for gold. So where there's no gold assays doesn't mean there's no gold there. We're re-assaying those as we speak, and we expect to come out with some results on that very, very soon. This is us standing at the bottom of the mine the other day. That shiny yellow part in the photo is the high-grade massive sulfide, similar to what you people saw at DeGrussa Sandfire, and that's the bottom of the mine. We know that ore body carries on, so that's our number one target, and that's what we're going to be drilling, and that's in fact what the drill rig is drilling as we speak. So our target with that 40 million tonnes resource that we have, which is already a very, very large resource, we expect to grow that significantly over the next 12 or 18 months, very quickly and very low cost, and increasing that grade on those high-grade VMS system, and we expect to get that production level up to a much, much higher level. And you can see here on the ASX, there are very few pure copper producers outside of the majors. So our game plan is very simple. It is to grow the resource, demonstrate a much larger production scenario that is more in the realms alike to major companies, and we expect to be doing that over the next 18 months or so. So a quick snapshot of what we've bought, and you can see there's $250 million worth of infrastructure there. You know, we're at the bottom of the mine drilling as we speak. It's all ventilated, it's dewatered, it's fully permitted. If we wanted to, we could get that into production today. It's on care and maintenance in the time being while we increase and get a globally significant resource there. Importantly to note, there's a shaft down to 650 metres level as well. So that's a 6 metre by 3 metre shaft that we'll be utilising for haulage at a later date. And probably the most important thing to note here is we have hydropower running across the property, and this is very low cost power. So we're talking about 5 cents a kilowatt hour, which is about a quarter of what mines are in Western Australia. The metallurgy is very, very good because when it was in operation, it produced at 96% recovery and had a concentrate of around 28 to 30% con. So very, very good, clean product that will be well sought after in the market. So Finland Labrador, I can tell you, is an amazing place to do business. It's rated very highly in the Fraser Institute. It is in people's blood there, mining. It's a mining province. 32% of GDP is from mining. You have a huge workforce that does fly in and fly out based in Newfoundland, and they fly to Alberta and Saskatchewan to the mines there, so it is a very pro-mining place to be. It reminds me of Western Australia with the permitting timelines and the push to get into production, and there's some very, very big mines there operating in Newfoundland Labrador, including oil and gas fields as well. So zooming into the island of Newfoundland here, we're up in the top part. It's very easy to get to. There's daily, in fact, there's multiple daily flights into Deer Lake, and from there it's an hour-and-a-half drive up to site on the Trans-Canada Highway. So it's a 4-lane sealed highway. It goes all the way from St John's on the east of the island, all the way across to Vancouver, across the whole of Canada. So very, very easy access with multiple hydropower stations throughout the area as well. So a couple of slides to show you what the geology looks like, and this is a VMS mineralised system. They normally come in clusters, big zones. We have this sitting at the top in gold, the very high-grade VMS system, and this was mined in the 80s and 90s and 2000s. So a lot of that was mined out back in the day, very profitable, about 6% copper. And then at the very bottom of the development there, so marked up in black is the decline in the shaft. At the bottom of the development there, where we're drilling at the moment, you can see those drill results on the right-hand side, and those are all extensions of the ore body. So we know that ore body carries on, and that's what we're drilling at the moment, further extensions of that ore body. So we expect to see that carrying on below the mine. And then sitting directly below that VMS, high-grade VMS, is this big 30 million tonnes at 2.1% copper with gold in it as well. And this is a very big, consistent mineralised zone that is also open. And you can see there's almost a half a kilometre step-out drill hole that hit 102 metres. So we know that carries on as well. So the game plan is very simple. As I said, value creation with the drill bit, one drill rig turning at the moment. The jumbo will be on site to put in an exploration decline, a drill drive that'll be going out, marked up in blue. That's a 750 metre drive. That'll take about 4 months or 5 months to complete that. And on that, we'll have the 3 drill rigs turning and drilling down into that high-grade VMS mineralised zone and extensions of that, and then drilling through into that big, broad, consistent footwall zone as well. So very, very simple game plan. And remembering, there's been no drilling up dip, and there's been no drilling to the west and no drilling to the east. So we're really excited to be also doing exploration as well as very simple, low-cost step-out growth. And a couple of cross sections through the ore body just to give you a feel. And I could have put a bunch of these on here, but there's not enough time to go through it all. This section here is about the 500 metre level. You can see there's very high grade VMS loads at the top, so that's about 500 metres across. There's 4 loads within it, very high grade. There's not one drill hole to the west of that, not one drill hole to the east of it. We'll be looking for more of those loads. And then directly below is this very big, broad 2% copper with gold mineralised zone. And you can see the dimensions on this are very, very large. And again, no drilling below that either. And then at the bottom of the mine, again, you can see this big, broad footwall zone, which is open, and that's what we're targeting, as well as these high-grade VMS massive sulfide zones as well. These are actually unmined here at the bottom of the mine. You can see some very high-grade copper and gold in that. And again, as I said, it hasn't been drilled to the west and it hasn't been drilled to the east. So the amazing thing about being in Canada is that these mines go very, very deep, and it's because the rock stress levels are half of what you have in Western Australia. So we're really just scratching the surface, and I like to think of this chart here as more of a timeline. This is about the longer you spend on a project, the decades that go on, the decades of mining that there are. We're really just scratching the surface. In this next 12 to 18 months, we're going to see a lot more of that black on that map coming out to be red as we drill more holes. It's a very visual ore body. You can see here the massive sulfide at the bottom of the mine. This is literally the face of the mine. We know that carries on. That's going at 10 grams per tonne at the bottom of the mine there. The ground conditions, as I said, are very, very good. Down at 900 metres level. All of this is just rocks and mesh, bolts and mesh holding up the rock. So we expect this to go much, much deeper. So as I said, I've probably talked about it a lot. The strategy is very simple. It is about value creation with the drill bit. Low-cost value creation, targeting high-grade mineralisation as well as big, broad 2% copper mineralisation. There are very few of those on the ASX. The drill rigs are turning. We're ramping those drill rigs up to 3 by January, so you're going to see plenty of news flow. The news flow is in fact starting. We've only just recently acquired this project, so the drilling is starting. We're expecting results very, very soon. So we are cashed up. There's $24 million in the bank. That will see us all the way through to September next year when we come out with the resource upgrade, but plenty of news flow, week in, week out as we drill those holes with those 3 drill rigs turning, as well as doing the wildcat drilling to see if we can have another discovery there on the property. And obviously watch this space on Pickle Crow, because that is a very high-grade gold project that we expect to create further value on over the next little while as well. So thanks very much for your time. Please come by the booth and have a chat.